Well, it's been more than 24 hours. We're skipping forward about a week. I wanted to leave them a little bit longer to give the paint a bit of chance to fully harden off. They've got a new lease of life, and I want to give the cases the best possible chance of maintaining that finish. So let's start pulling off all this masking and see what they look like pre-assembly. The finish in some parts is really good, really smooth. In other parts not so much, but that's more to do with the fact it's just cast aluminium. But generally very pleased with the outcome. What is going to be tricky is pulling off, got some tweezers at the ready, all of the tiny little bolt hole plugs that I covered it with, because there's just dozens and dozens, and I'm sure I'm going to miss some. Some are obvious. Some not so much. And I think we got a pretty good paint finish on the engine number 2. Yeah, this is the bit I fear, whether it's just going to come off in tiny little bits, but I think there's going to be little areas like that, but generally it's just going to all come off in large swathes. You just have to be patient when removing it. You wouldn't want it falling off. As a result, it just takes a little bit more effort, and it's time to remove. Get them before you forget. I don't seem to be taking any paint off with me, or with it. And it's mostly coming off really clean. Sneaky little one in there. Not forgetting this big piece here. I think that's all one piece. We'll take it off and see. Heaviest of all the cases. find my bolt holes, I think. Definitely finding these a little bit more fiddly because you can't get hold of huge chunks of it and just pull it off like a sheet. This should all come off reasonably easily though. I think that was just a bit of paint that was inside the engine. That should look like a bit of tape, but it's not. Sometimes it can be a little tricky just to pick up. Should just pull straight off. I think that's probably the last of it. Right, pretty sure that's everything. I have to say there's some really sticky residue on these mating surfaces. So we'll need to just go over that with a Stanley blade, I think, before we start putting everything back together. But pretty sure I've got absolutely everything off. I should have cleaned that up a little bit better before I got started, but we can do it as we go. Okay, I think that's absolutely everything top side. So just need to flip it over. plug holes to go now. Well, I'm not going to bore you anymore with this. I'm going to finish up on these parts, get them all over on the other bench, and then we can take a closer look at it. Okay, that is the engine completely repainted. Still needs a little bit of prep for reassembly. All of the mating surfaces have got a bit of sticky residue from all the tape. They need a little bit of a wipe out from the inside. I've given them a very crude wash in my homemade parts washer, but they're all pretty good now. So what I need to do next after this video is really sit down and figure out what I need as a parts reassembly list, because I'm going to need full gasket sets, all the heads, covers, everything, O-rings and seals. There's going to need to be a few new bearings fitted for transmission, things like that. I'll have a little look at those, see what they're looking like in these cases, but they probably need to be replaced. There's no sense not replacing them, they're cheap enough. When you've got the engine apart, might as well do it. The sumper's got an O-ring instead of a kind of a regular gasket. I'm going to need to replace that. That is so flush with the surface, I can't see that's going to seal very well. So yeah, quite a bit to do. I'm happy with the paint job. It's by no means top quality, but if you've watched this series from the start, you'll know that the paint on the whole bike was just awful, and the engine was no exception. It just bubbled up. When I managed to get the engine running and a bit warm, it was like a stormy ocean. I think the original owner just used what looked like regular wood gloss on it. It was just awful. So this has got 6 coats of VHT matte black, followed by 3 coats of VHT clear coat, and whilst I didn't really want a gloss finish, I think it looks okay. Still got another video to do with all the side covers and rockers, sprocket cover, etc., because I'm going to leave those bare aluminium, polish them up a little bit and do some detail in Honda racing colours, the old red, white and blue, which is really nice actually. And of course we need to go over the whole bike, because there is a lot to do. I've cleaned the tank out, I need to fettle the fuel tap, but I need to strip all the paint off the fairings, the tank, everywhere, and re-spray it, because that is also really terrible. And there's a few mechanicals that need doing, because I have to rebuild the forks, they're leaking. All of the brake calipers are stuck, so they need rebuilding. And I need to replace the clocks because they're in KMH. This was a Japanese import bike. It's rev limited in the clocks because at the time when the bike was built, the law in Japan meant that all vehicles on the road were limited to about 112 miles an hour. So I need to put a fresh set of clocks on it, a replacement set in miles an hour, which will also remove that rev limiter. If I can't find a decent set for a good price, I will just pull it open and manually remove it. But that's that. Next video, I think we will be having a look over the engine and working out what we need from a parts perspective. Well, I'm very much looking forward to getting on with the mechanical side of things now. This has been like watching paint dry. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I will see you next time.